Hey guys, Harsh here back in the video. So today I have the review of the Redmi 6 Pro by Xiaomi, and Xiaomi is the best smartphone selling company in India and in China, because China is all about this type of phone. So let's unbox it and let's see what's inside. Xiaomi company is one of the first few companies that actually implemented the large sale in India, which is selling smartphone at a lower profit margin so that they might sell more phones and get more profit or equivalent profit to premium smartphone sellings. So what they have done is come up with very cheap smartphone for the Indian market, and they have contributed 30% sales of the Indian market smartphone, and that's pretty big for a company like Xiaomi. And they have established a pretty permanent business here in India, and they are setting it all over the world also. Redmi company, what it does is make cheap smartphone at a very high spec range. So this particular version comes with a Snapdragon 625 processor. It has 4000 mAh battery, 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of internal storage, and wow, look at the design of the phone. It's kind of Apple like, but it's for pretty good deal. And I have the lake blue version right here. So let's talk about its body first. It is pretty light blue colorish type, and it might be different because you are seeing it through a camera, and then the screen is also depends on how you see the phone. So as you can see, there are some information written over here. It can support up to 2 micro SD sims and a micro SD card slot, so that's pretty nice. And up here is the circular fingerprint scanner, and basically it is where your finger will rest. So it is pretty nice to have it in this spot right here, or in the front where the home button lies. Then we have the dual camera setup right here, in which the one camera is 12 megapixel and the bottom camera is 5 megapixel AI dual camera system. And then the screen size is 5.84 inches. As you can see right here, it is written over here. I'm just seeing it and telling you what it is. And of course it has the 4000 mAh battery, which is like, it can get you by the day. If you are a heavy user, you might get by the day. And then on the right side you have your volume rockers and the power button, and on the bottom you have your USB charging cable and the speaker grills, which one of them is the mic. And on the left side you have nothing but a simple hole and the SIM tray. So let's eject that right now and see how big it is actually. So here is the pin right here, and I'm going to eject it. So let's see how long it is. And oh my god, look at this, look at the size of this thing. I mean, let me show you the OnePlus. So this is the OnePlus one, and this is the Redmi 6 Pro. So as you can see that it is definitely taller because it can house a full micro SD card in it, and this one does not. And it has expandable storage up to 256 GBs, which is pretty nice. And if you want to store some very big files or movies for say, then you can do that obviously. So let me just put it back right in spot. Of course, it is also has the very rare headphone jack that is not seen in smartphone of this tone and age, so that's pretty good to have. Now let's peel the protective cover that is here. Okay, so that was pretty satisfying, and let's keep the phone aside for a minute and let's see what's inside the box. So let us take out, and of course you get the charge cable, and you also get the power brick, and it is a pretty standard power brick. I think it's it's 2 ampere it's a 2 ampere charger, so you can full charge your phone in about 2 hours, so that's pretty nice. And inside this packet I think is the silicone cover for this phone. Yes, it is, and you get some instruction that no one reads. So here is the silicone cover, and I don't like these very much because they become loosened by time, so that's up to you if you want to use them or buy a separate cover. And then of course you get the SIM ejector tool, which is buried inside this box, but it's not a corpse. So it is right here, and it is a pretty unique type. I have never seen it like it. Looks like an earring or a fishing rod hook. So now let's take the phone and let's see if it has any power in it. And yes, of course it has some power, some juice, and MI was so gracious to send it with some power in it. So it's now booting up. So as you can see, it comes with MIUI 10 loaded, preloaded itself, so that's pretty nice. So let me go ahead and set up the device. Okay, so it's booted up in the MIUI and it is pretty smooth version of the MIUI because it's MIUI 10. So let's go to the apps that are already installed in the phone. So you got your basic call settings, messages, browser and your camera, and then you have some Google apps such as Play Store, Chrome, and all the other things such as the YouTube, music, drive and other things. Then the most interesting feature that I love about MI phone is the MI remote. So you got an IR blaster right up here that I earlier talked about, and from this you can control any TV and smartphone that is fitted in the phone software. Now let's open up the camera app and click some photos and see how the camera performs. So I got a cube right here. It has very vibrant colors, so let's see how it can take a photo. So it's on normal photo mode right now, so I'm going to just quickly click on focus and click an image. Now the photo according to 12 megapixel, it is pretty nice and the sharpness is pretty good. And now let's try the portrait mode. So switch over to portrait mode now, and then I'm going to the same Rubik's cube right now. So in this photo you can see that the camera behind me is completely blurred and the edges are pretty sharp on this one. So I would say the portrait mode is doing pretty well. We have the video option. So it has image stabilization, not the optical but the digital image stabilization. So it can shoot videos up to 60 frames per second at 1080p resolution and 720p and 480p at 30 frames per second. So that's, I think, strange, because if you can shoot 1080p at 60, then you can obviously shoot 720 at 60 or 120 frames. Then you can also select the slow motion option, which is right on the top corner, and there's a slow motion and a time-lapse option. Now the front camera does not have that much resolution, but it's pretty functional. So let me switch on to front camera, and this is my beautiful face right here, as you can see, and this is my camera. So let's take a picture right now. Now taking note that this is a 5 megapixel camera, it is pretty nice, and of course the image is mirrored, so you have to correct it if you wish to, because as you can see that the Canon written on the camera is inverted. So that's up to you. If you want to change it, you can, and if you don't want to change it, then you can leave it like that. Okay, so now let's launch the YouTube app and see what types of speaker it has. So I'm not going to update it right now because I am a old-fashioned guy. So let's search our channel. So this is the video of the OnePlus 60 slow motion test. So it has one of our best audio, and it also got content edit claim, so that's pretty sad. So let's play it right here. So the clarity of the speaker is very nice, and it's not that much loud. That is the reason why it has so much clarity in the speaker version. So I would say that the speakers are pretty good, and it also has a headphone jack, so you can just plug in your favorite phones and listen to your music or your video while you are not driving, obviously. And that's about it about this phone. Okay, so now I have installed PUBG Mobile 8 because it's, I think, the basic test to check the gaming performance of a smartphone. So as you can see, by default it is set at low, so that's pretty upsetting because you don't want to play in low graphics. So let me just go ahead and click on got it. So I just clicked it, so it is showing me some stupid steps to perform, but right now let's check whether it is performing frequently or not. So let me go to settings and go to graphics first, and as you can see, you can set the frame rates to high, so I'm going to do that right now. This will slightly increase, I think, the frame rate of the gameplay. So let me click on start and let us join a match and kill some enemies. So the functioning is pretty good. I think it is moving as I want it to move, so that's pretty nice, and I can punch someone or shoot someone very easily. So let's drop down this map and let's see where we can find some enemies and see how it performs when we are shooting someone, or if we can control the recoil of the gun. Okay, so the match has ended. As you can see, we have won the match. So right now the device is pretty heated up, and I don't have a thermometer to tell you, but it is considerably heated up, so that's one thing to watch out. But the gameplay was nice. I was able to get 15 kills, and the battery dropped to around 11% of one match, so it has pretty good battery life also. Okay, so this is the video and the audio quality test of the Redmi 6 Pro, and it has digital stabilization, but I don't think it's working very nicely. So let me just zoom in on the plants and some here flowers, as you can see. So I mean, for 12 megapixel it is not that much good. I mean, I have seen other phones with some higher quality, so the quality is only decent. Now this is a very light environment, as you can see. The sun is almost setting, but it has pretty light outside, so this is the perfect light condition for a camera to be shot on. So I mean, it can perform decently in some night light situation. So there you guys, here is the review of the Redmi 6 Pro. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and share. And of course it since we have a new cast, we are now reviewing the Redmi